Today, in the first of our two readings, we are looking at the death of Jesus on the cross. 2 weeks ago, we heard about the Last Supper that Jesus shared with his disciples. It took place on the night before his crucifixion, and then so much happened before his death on the cross. We know that Jesus and his disciples headed off to the Garden of Gethsemane to pray, and it was there that Judas betrayed him, and Jesus was arrested. He was then put through several trials and was questioned by the chief priest, the Roman governor, Pontius Pilate, and King Herod, who had him heavily beaten and mocked. We are told about how Peter failed Jesus by disowning him 3 times. And we know that Pilate declared that he did not find grounds to crucify Jesus, and offered the crowd the choice between Jesus or another prisoner, Barabbas, to be released. The crowd chose to set Barabbas free and chanted, "Crucify him," about Jesus. Pilate listened to the crowd and granted their demand. And this is where we pick up our reading today from the Gospel of Luke. Two others, both criminals, were led out to be executed with him. When they came to a place called the Skull, they nailed him to the cross. And the criminals were also crucified, one on his right and one on his left. Jesus said, "Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they are doing." And the soldiers gambled for his clothes by throwing dice. The crowd watched, and the leaders scoffed. "He saved others," they said. "Let him save himself if he's really God's Messiah, the chosen one." And the soldiers mocked him too, by offering him a drink of sour wine. They called out to him, "If you are the King of the Jews, save yourself." And a sign was fastened above him with these words, "This is the King of the Jews." One of the criminals hanging beside him scoffed. "So, you're the Messiah, are you? Prove it by saving yourself, and us too, while you're at it." But the other criminal protested. "Don't you fear God, even when you have been sentenced to die? We deserve to die for our crimes, but this man hasn't done anything wrong." Then he said, "Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom." And Jesus replied, "I assure you, today you will be with me in paradise." By this time it was about noon, and darkness fell across the whole land until 3 o'clock. The light from the sun was gone. And suddenly the curtain in the sanctuary of the temple was torn down the middle. And then Jesus shouted, "Father, I entrust my spirit into your hands." And with those words, he breathed his last.